34-year-old Pennsylvania man was found shot to death in a wooded part of Pittsburgh Elliott neighborhood on Thursday morning. At around 9:30 a.m. on the 26th of January, authorities responded to reports of an unresponsive man found in a bushy area of Herod and Bond Streets. When officers arrived, they found the victim with a gunshot wound to the head, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. He was later identified as Kenneth Lennox. He was reported missing from Keysport on Wednesday, after having been seen since noon on Saturday the 21st of January. Officials said he was known to travel to Pittsburgh. Detectives from the crime scene unit processed evidence at the scene. On Friday the 27th of January, the Allegheny County Medical Examiner determined that Kenneth died on Thursday, and his death was ruled a homicide. Cindy Lennox, Kenneth's mother, said that when she heard the news that a man was found shot to death in Elliott that morning, she said something told her it was her son. Cindy's still processing the news that her son was found shot to death. "I'm pretty suspicious that when he left his house, he was going to do something he wasn't supposed to do," she said. She said, "I want to know who did this to my son. I want them to pay. I'm so angry right now. I can't even cry anymore." She said her daughter died of an overdose a year and a half ago, and she buried her mother not long after. "I have no children now. They're both gone," she said. Kenneth is survived by 2 sons and 2 daughters. Cindy remembers him as goofy and loving. She said he was no angel, but he didn't deserve this. "I really want whoever did this to my son to be found. I won't give up with that. I'll be on it every day," Cindy said. "I'll find you. You better hope that the police find you before I do." Police have not released information on possible suspects, arrests or a motive in the attack, as the investigation into the matter continues. Police are investigating the fatal shooting of a 22-year-old man in the J.C. Napier housing area of Nashville, Tennessee early Friday morning. At 12:12 a.m. on the 27th of January, authorities responded to a residence located at 182 Lafayette Street on reports of shots fired and witnesses seeing a group of people running from the apartment towards a convenience store across the street. When officers arrived, they found the apartment door partially open and a man laying on the living room couch with gunshot wounds. Officers rendered first aid until he was taken to the Vanderbilt University Medical Center, where he died a short time later. Authorities identified the victim through fingerprints as Xavier Javon Taylor of Decatur Street. So far, no arrests have been made. Detectives are pursuing active leads as they work to try and identify the individuals who were present in the apartment at the time Xavier was shot. Xavier was arrested in May last year for carjacking and felony cocaine possession, but was out on bond and wearing an ankle monitor. Detectives will look at whether these circumstances had any relation to this homicide. Mother Valerie Hamilton and stepfather Shane Shelton, both 27 of Detroit, Michigan, are accused of fatally beating their 5-year-old son and injuring their 3-year-old son. At 1:07 p.m. on Sunday the 22nd of January, authorities were called to a home at 14660 Spring Garden Street on reports of an unresponsive child. When officers arrived, they saw 5-year-old Ethan Belcher being taken to the EMS truck. He was pronounced dead upon arrival at a nearby hospital. His 3-year-old brother had bruises on his head and face, and he was taken to the hospital for treatment. Authorities said that photos from the medical examiner's office showed that Ethan had gangrene on one of his toes, which was rotting and black. He also had bruises in the shape of loops on his body and multiple abrasions, indicating an object like a cord was used to make the marks. Other children in the home told investigators that Shane and Valerie would beat them and confine them to the basement of the house, which was filled with sewage, water and feces. Text messages reveal that Robert called the kids explicit names and used foul language to describe the children and their beatings. Valerie texted Robert and said she will slam a kid so hard their heads will pop off. Ethan's aunt, Ashley Belcher, said she reported the abuse to authorities 18 months ago. She said she took the child to a hospital. She also said she took photos of Ethan's bruises and cuts and shared those photos with police. Ethan had bruises from head to toe. His head was all lumped up. His eye was almost split open. The bruises were so bad on his bottom that he couldn't sit down, she said. Authorities launched an abuse investigation into Shane and placed the children with their grandmother. Police said they spoke to everyone involved in the case and collected evidence. However, they didn't get approval for an arrest warrant. The couple and the children moved into the home in Detroit. That's where police found Ethan dead and his younger brother seriously injured. On the 25th of January, Shane and Valerie were charged with murder, torture and abuse. They held at the Wayne County Jail without bond.